Hello, and welcome back. And today we're going in through album number 6, the update, and we'll start with one of my favorite countries, Bulgaria. I was lucky to get some of these early banknotes, although they are not, as you can see, uncirculated. They are impossible to find in that format, but they are beautiful banknotes, actually similar to the Russian banknotes of that time. These are late 19th century to early 20th century. Of course, not complete. I don't have all the pics, but some interesting banknotes. And then we'll start going already closer to Second World War. And the grades start getting a bit better, although, to be honest, not always the best. And here you see clearly this one, yeah. But I love the colorfulness and the beautifulness of these banknotes. Also, sometimes the back, which was not always the case in these countries. Then we have here one of these bonds, or yeah, this banknotes at the time that they worked a bit like a coupon, that it would gather value over time. And then here we start going into the Communist Republic of Bulgaria in the 40s, late 40s, after the Second World War. Then after that, they tend to have this, this format, which is not ugly. It's actually quite beautiful, especially for this era, but it becomes a bit repetitive, and then they basically issue the same stuff as the Soviet Union, but with the Bulgarian format, or with the Bulgarian coat of arms and all that. But it's basically the same as the rubles. And then we go after communists, or after the fall of the Soviet Union. Bulgaria also became democratic, early 90s, and then they had this banknotes, beautiful, again, hyperinflation at that time. But these banknotes are actually, a joy to look at. And I think this was the last one from hyperinflation, and then they issued the Lev, which was, I think, it was 1-to-1 with the Deutsche Mark. And that's what they are still using today. The banknotes did get some holographic upgrades and all that, but stayed relatively the same in terms of face. But they're beautiful. I do love the Bulgarian banknotes. I think it's one of my favorite countries to collect. From there we go into Burma. Burma, I did get these two that are not cheap, not always, a bit by chance. I bought like a collection, and I didn't even know that this came in it. Then we have this Japanese war money in Burma. A few others that, again, I got from that collection. Here are a few of those. There are some interesting values here, not so much this latest portion, but especially these ones are extremely cheap, with one exception. But overall, not the nicest banknotes in my opinion. That said, it's relatively complete, I would say, in terms of Burma. And then we go into Burundi, and again, here is one of these cases where 90% of these banknotes are cheap, but then there's a few of them that are expensive and hard to find, and beautiful, like this one. Even more beautiful than this version here is actually the proof one, in blue and yellow, but I don't have it. Then we go into the modern one, and this, to be honest, are just bland, especially those ones. They get a bit better here on the 5,000, the 2,000. Actually, this 10,000 is nice. And the newest version, although I would say a bit of an upgrade, is also not. It's basically a copy from other banknotes that we've seen around the world, especially some African countries. I think it's a theme that eventually came And from that we go to letter C and we go to Cambodia. And I think it's only half of Cambodia here due to there was enough pages already in this album. Early banknotes, again, the same problem. These are not uncirculated, of course. And after that, after the first series, I think Cambodia is a relatively cheap country to get, even if you are basically buying even dates and signatures and stuff like that. You should be able to make a pretty good collection of Cambodian banknotes with a very tight budget. Yeah, these are effortless banknotes at the time. I know it was during the war, so it was hard to print banknotes. This was done probably by some Chinese or even their own printer, and you can see how cheap these are. This one has the in pencil, the price €1. I used to buy in a place in Germany that they used to always put the price in euros here in pencil, so you see some of those. And yeah, to conclude, I would show the ones in graded format. So here is Burundi 37A, and then I have another one from Burundi there, big 15, and this one from Bhutan is from the last album or 2 albums ago, but it was in this page. Then again, Burundi here. These are ones that I also have there. And actually, these ones are the expensive ones from Burundi, the pick number 4 and pick number 14. Unfortunately, both in almost uncirculated. Yeah, they will have in all a bit of further album the Rwandan Burundi banknotes, which are, of course, much rarer. But these ones are unfortunately not in top condition, but still almost uncirculated was what I could get back then. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.